Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be featuring the very first deck list once again that I featured on this channel, that being Dragapult Charizard. So remember, as I said in the first video, that the whole point of this channel is we're going to be going through my deck lists, obviously talking about them, making changes and stuff like that. And one thing I didn't mention is that we will be refeaturing these lists where possible if significant changes have of course occurred. But before I begin with that, in the description below there's going to be usual timestamps and the deck list in the description below, so feel free to skip ahead to that. But of course, the main changes that I've done is I have actually took out the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. So I know that may sound a bit daft, but when you think about it, it makes complete sense. Because we have our Charizard for the late game. We have no switching cards in the list whatsoever, not even a Turo. So having no way to switch out a bear that's been stuck in the active. I mean, we have a rescue board, but that can only carry you so far. Yeah. So I'm going to be trialing Bear Gone and replacing it with Hawlucha. I'll go more into this card in a moment. Obviously, we've seen this card a few times throughout the channel's history and everything, but I'll go further into that. I've also cut the one Brock Scouting that we had and replaced it with a Research. This is just for extra draw and can just be extra draw that we actually need, because obviously we're not always going to find our Drakloaks, and Iono in a late game only draws us 1 or 2. So that's the reason behind that. Before we go any further, let's have a look at that deck list. And welcome to the deck list. So like I said, those are the main changes I've done. Obviously, this is just a trial. I want to see how these cards do in the deck, because I have wanted a Hawlucha in the list for a while, and obviously a lot of these cards are very important to be playing. So, for example, EXP, Share, Rescue Ball, and Evolution. I don't want to cut any of those. I don't really want to cut my supporter line any more than I need to. So, again, there's that. Of course, adding the Research just gives us a little bit of extra draw, but you know what Research does. It's a very common card in most decks. But what does Hawlucha do? So Hawlucha's ability is Flying Entry. When we play this Pokemon from our hand onto our bench during my turn, we may choose 2 of our opponent's bench Pokemon and put a damage counter on each of them. So one thing you've probably noticed in the gameplays that we've done is a lot of the opponent's Pokemon are 70 HP. What this means is Dragapult cannot deal with it in one go, unless we have Munkidori ping, which we're not always going to have access to Munkidori. So having the Hawlucha means we can ping 10-10 onto someone's 70 HP basics, then do a Phantom Dive, taking the knockout, and finally getting an actual prize card that isn't just taking the longer route of taking 2 prizes. So against single prize decks, or at least evolution decks, that can make a humongous difference. As for the Research Edition, obviously in the first gameplay, if I remember rightly, we did struggle a little bit with draw because we couldn't get our Drakloak set up, and that has been an issue I want to address. So that is what the Research is there for. We can potentially up it to 2, but I like my Jacks too much in this list, and I don't really want to be cutting that where possible. Obviously, we're sticking with the 2 Candy, 2 Ultra Ball, and the Tera Orb. Having a Tera Orb just makes complete sense for me. 4 Iono, 3 Arven, 2 Boss, 2 Jacq, and the Research is still going to be at that. Now, Stadiums is another consideration. I am considering cutting the Artisan for a Team Rocket's Watchtower. Now that I don't have to worry about putting it down for my bear, this could help. But obviously, with us not playing any Nest Ball, is something to consider. Obviously, having an Artisan in general is just a solid Stadium bump, but it does help your opponent. So it is something to think about, but we will obviously trial this list and see how it does. Obviously still have my boy Chi-Yu. This card has saved my bacon too many times, and to be brutally honest, I can't see myself cutting this card from this list. I have kept the Budew. I have seen some lists playing a Cleffa, but I don't think the Cleffa is the right route. And of course, as I said, we've already added the Hawlucha, which is something I've wanted in this list for a while, but it's just making the space. It's very tricky, but like I say, let's see how we do without the bear and see how things go, really. So, let's jump to some gameplay and see how we do. And welcome to the match. Starting off with a Houndoom ranked 184, I think it was, player. That's not too bad at all. We're at least climbing the actual ladder itself, so that's something. Our opponent wins the coin flip, so they get to choose who goes first. I must admit, it's definitely been a deck list that I want to continue upgrading, and obviously as time goes on, the deck list will get better, and obviously some parts about the deck will get better. But you know, it's something to consider. So we'll start the Dreepy. We don't want to start the Hawlucha because Hawlucha has to be played from hand. It's Grimmsnarl. Okay, this could be tough. This could be tough. Let's see what happens. Energy. And a Buddy Poffin. I was hoping you didn't have that, but it's okay. We're not in a major situation here. Cleffa and Budew. Well, you're going first, so there's no... What are you doing? You're going first, you sausage. I mean, sure, I'll get my items out whilst I can. I'll take it. So play down the Dreepy and play a Buddy Poffin. Grab a Dreepy and a Charmander. So, we've got our Charmeleon in hand. We've got all 4 Drakloaks, and we've got both our Pults in hand. We've prized... Let's see what we've prized. We prized a Candy. That's fine. We prized a Buddy Poffin, which is fine. We've prized a Luminous... But we haven't prized a Fire. So we've got okay prizes. I can take that. And I'll attach return to this Dreepy, and I'll pass. I'm actually hoping he Ionos us, because that means we can start digging for our Drakloaks. No, he's playing a Drayton? Sure. Very interesting card in Grimmsnarl. I've not really seen that card. I'm just hoping we can get a Phantom Dive rolling to take out these 2 little buggers, but still, we're not getting Iono'd, which is a problem, but we can at least evolve into a Charmeleon. So again, it's not the end of the world, but let's see what we get. There's an Ultra Ball, but we can't play it. So we just have to evolve to Charmeleon, and we just have to pass up, I'm afraid. So what we could actually do is we could... If we can get a Pult rolling, boss that Impidimp, because we know he has a we know he has a Grimmsnarl in hand. That's something to consider. He has a Grimmsnarl in hand, and I don't think he's rushing out at it, which to be fair is understandable. Maximum Belt? I mean, sure. I can see the reasoning, and I wish I hadn't put that energy down now. I can't do anything. We'll just pass. Yeah, unfortunately, with him not Ionoing us, it is going to be a bit tricky, but I'm not hugely worried. There's another Itchy. I don't mind playing the slow game, it's just, you know, it's a bit concerning. So I'll EXP share there. Pass. This is the only problem. When you're not drawing into your Jacks or anything like that, it can be very tricky to get going. So there's Drayton. We know he's got Grimmsnarl in hand. So I've got to remember what this card does. It's Pokemon on a trainer card, yeah. So he can get his Morgrim down. This can be an issue because if we don't get set up soon, we're going to be too far behind. I know that for certain. There's a restart for 2. At least that's an easy 2 prize option for us to go for. So we can actually gust this and then Phantom Dive these 2. But that is assuming we find what we need. So let's see. There's an Arven. Arven does help. Somewhat, anyway. Our rescue board is prized. That is annoying. Right. What do we grab then? Do we just thin a card out? Yeah, I think we just thin a card out. And just pass. This is really not good. This is really looking bad. Because now he can go into the Grimmsnarl, gust up the Dreepy with the energy, and put us really far behind. Why has he put 3 on the Grimmsnarl? Has he got an energy switch? Restart for 1. But does he go in... okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept the Iono. There's Charizard, so that's good. We can at least go for that Mew. And take 2 prizes. Because we can evolve straight into the Charmeleon here, so we can actually gust this and knock it out. There's Spitemuth. Because we can go evolve to Charizard, bench Charmander, Night Stretcher, and go from there. That's assuming he attacks with a Grimmsnarl this turn, but I don't think he will. No, it's just an Itchy Pollen. Okay, that's fine with me. We can work with that. So there's a Luminous Energy. That's going to help quite a bit. So let's bench the Charmander. Now, the thing is I don't want to evolve this Charizard just yet. So I think I'm just going to Iono. I'm going to hold fire on attaching for turn, I think. That was not worth it in the slightest. So we'll just bench another Dreepy and pass. I don't need Munkidori right now, but I do need my Drakloaks, is all I'll say. Why is he charging up this Mew so much is what I want to know. Okay. There's an energy. That's good. So let's go for a Jacq. Grab 2 Drakloaks. I don't really want to evolve the active one, so I'm going to evolve one here. And one here. Let's start reconning. There's Munkidori and a Fire Energy. I'm going to take the Munkidori. And then recon again. There's Fez and a Luminous. We're going to need the Luminous for our Munkidori in a moment. So I'm going to commit a turn attachment to my Cloak. And we will just pass. If he takes a knockout with the Dreepy, that is completely fine. Well, on the Dreepy, I should say. I'm not bothered if he does. And he's just taking a knockout. Okay, this is good for us. So, of course, we didn't have a basic energy on our Dreepy, but that's okay. So, let's see what we can cook up here. So, let's go for a Drakloak first. Boss and Stamp. We will take the Stamp, because we might need it. Recon. Night Stretcher. That doesn't particularly help us, but we can at least grab it. So, let's see. Do I want to commit my Luminous to attack here? I don't think I do. So I think I just Luminous here and Iono, because we can't Stamp. That's annoying, but it's okay. We can live with that. Now we're in a really bad spot. That is really frustrating. So I'm going to retreat the basic fire, because we can at least shuffle that back in. And I will just give him a Charmander. And I will pass. This is not looking good for us, unfortunately. We at least have counter catch so we can do the full prize turn. But we need a little bit more first. We are not in a position to be doing full price turn yet. He's bossing. Bossing the Drakloak with the Fire Energy. Is he going in with Grimmsnarl now? Yes, he is. Okay, okay. We can deal with this. We can deal with this. So Shadow Bullet for knockout. And ping the Drakloak. That's fine. I can deal with that. Because remember, this deck is designed to play from behind. So, let's see what we can do. There's a Luminous. That's not going to help us. So let's go for a recon. There's Chiyu. I don't need him in this matchup, so I'll just take the counter catcher. So I'm going to play the Arven. So Arven lets us grab the Ultra Ball. Or do we have Tera Orb? We have Tera Orb. Good. So then we can Tera Orb. Grab our Pult. Because this opponent is heavily overbenched, so we are going to punish that hard. Touch of Fire Energy. Do that. Poffin. I'm gonna need Hawlucha. I might need Hawlucha later, but I doubt it. Then counter catch the Mew. And Phantom Dive for 200. Take the knockout. 3 on the Budew and 3 on the Cleffa. That's a 4 prize turn. We're back in the game. He's going to be fuming at that. He is going to be fuming. That's a 4 prize turn, folks. Yep, here comes the Grimmsnarl. So Grimmsnarl does 230 to our Dragapult, which I'm not bothered about. We can continue to set up our evolutions, so I'm, again, not really fussed. We can take our time here. So what's he going to grab off of this? Because if he puts Fez down, we could be in a good spot. If we can find Boss plus Hawlucha, we obviously have Hawlucha in hand, with Ultra Ball at least. If we can find Boss plus Hawlucha, we can win right here. So Shadow Bullet for 230, and 30 to a Dreepy, that's fine. I don't know why he's playing Max Bell, that's really odd, is all I will say. So, let's check the deck. I'm not grabbing Hawlucha here. Okay. So we need... We can't win this turn because we don't have enough draw to do it. So let's do Ultra Ball Budew plus... Do I want to get rid of Luminous? I think I do. We can at least take out the Impidimp and put pressure on him. So I think we will grab the Hawlucha here. So let's grab the Hawlucha. This means we can Iono for turn. So we will bench the Hawlucha. Put 10 on the Impidimp, 10 on the Munkidori. Then we can go Luminous to the Charmeleon. Rescue Border just in case, and Iono. It's getting really tough in this matchup at the minute, I must admit. So then we Artisan. Get down. Does Chiyu matter? Chiyu could matter, thinking about it. And then Phantom Dive for 200, and take out that Impidimp. So that puts pressure on, because now Chiyu's in KO range of this Grimmsnarl. There's a Luminous. This is looking good for us, but obviously he can go for a 3-prize turn here. But if we get Charizard, because we have the Arven to search it, we know there's a basic fire in deck, so we can win this turn, or this next turn. If he gusts up Charmeleon, we still win anyway. So let's see what he does. He can take out Dragapult plus Dreepy, but as long as he doesn't hand disrupt us, we should have game. Let's see what he does. I'm hoping he doesn't have the boss for the Charmeleon. But if we do manage to survive with Charmeleon, we have game, because we know there's a basic fire in deck. Another Adrenabrain. What's he going to target? Because he needs to put another damage counter on his Dreepy. He could knock out the Dragapult with that damage, but no, he's not. So that means we have game. So down goes Pult, down goes Dreepy. But, like I said, if we top deck Zard, that'd just be funny, but... Well, that pretty much guarantees it. So let's go for the Arven. It's going to make sure that we do have that basic fire. We actually have 2. Okay, so then we just go for the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, last 2 cards in hand. Grab our Charizard. Evolve to the Zard. Infernal Rain, yes we will. We only need 1. Attach it to the Charizard. And Burning Darkness for 330 damage. I'll be honest, we could have done that with Bear, but, you know, we needed the... We couldn't rely on finding Bear, and obviously in that situation, we wouldn't have needed an energy attachment. Because we had to promote something with no energy, we definitely wouldn't have won that if we had the Bear. So having Hawlucha in that matchup actually made a difference. So that's something to keep in mind. But still, that was a good game. Good game from the opponent. That was really fun, getting that 4-prize turn. And that's what I mean. We don't have to rush things. If we can take that 4-price turn and get back on the map, we are really getting into the stride. He would have had a good chance had he continued the Budew lock, but he didn't. Anyway, let's go on to the second game. And welcome to the second match. That was a really, really fun game against Grimmsnarl. I really enjoyed that game. I will admit, like, it got a bit squeaky bum time at the end, but like the fact that we had the Arven for the Ultra Ball, and obviously we had the top deck, that's what made the difference there. So I'm not going to, again, make my guess, but I'm going to guess this is Grimmsnarl again because of the coin. He's making us go first, which means probably they're playing double Budew. We have a mulligan, and so do they. That's fine with me. That is a pretty horrendous starting hand. Yeah, it's Grimmsnarl. That is a horrendous starting hand. Okay. Going first with this hand does not feel good, but that does. Pass. Because we could actually just go Jacq, Rare Candy, Charizard, and just start swinging immediately. We can do that if we want. And if the opponent just attach passes, we will do that because that's game. But no, they get the Arven. That's fine with me. That's fine with me at all. Yeah, I must admit, like, not having the bear and obviously removing the Brock Scouting, like, you could arguably say, like, the Brock Scouting would have made a difference because that's what I cut for the Hawlucha and we could have gotten more basics and or evolution. You could argue that, but, like, to be brutally honest, I didn't feel nervous in that endgame at all. I actually felt quite confident. So there's Evo. So at least we know it's a normal Grimmsnarl build. Like I said, Grimmsnarl is a really fun matchup anyway. It's one of those matchups like it can definitely do something. Team Evo plus the Dark Energy, that's pretty good from them. And there's Evolution. So we know to expect the Devo threat. So in that case, I think we'll just go Arven. And they've got both their Morgrim in deck. Not a bad start from the opponent, I will say. That's pretty good. There's a Dreepy, that's a good one. See, the issue is if I don't go for the Jacq and evolve these two, they're just going to get taken out anyway. So I think, based off of that, I'm just going to go for the Arven. Obviously, we don't play any way to search out energy or anything like that. But I can at least get some more board set up. And I can even Budew lock as well. So let's go for a Dreepy and a Budew. Rescue board to Dreepy. Retreat to Dreepy. And Itchy Pollen, which does 20 because of weakness. Obviously, he can just go switch, or retreat the Impidimp, evolve into the Grimmsnarl, and go from there, which would be pretty rough. And obviously, that's a guaranteed search of the Grimmsnarl. And there's an Iono. That's I'm not mad at that. That's fine. I can deal with that. Okay, that's just rubbing salt in the wound, isn't it? There's Munkidori. He can now move the damage off if he wishes. Grab the Grimmsnarl. This is not looking good. Punk up. Fin out 4 Darks. 2 on a Grimm, 2 on a Morgrim. Yeah, this is not looking good for us. He's only finning out 2. Interesting. Maybe drew into a pickle. Obviously, he used the Iono, so that's why this Grimmsnarl attack is not as devastating. He can move the 20 damage off, which is also a bit annoying, but we can deal with that. So let's see what we can do. Onto that Dreepy, that's fine. Shadow Bullet for knockout, probably hit that Dreepy as well. That's fine. We can live with that. So we'll promote this Dreepy because we have the rescue board. See what we get. There's Fez. That's excellent. Fez is an excellent draw. That not so much. Okay. So We definitely want to evolve the Charmeleon here. We can Buddy Poffin and get another Dreepy, because we are going to lose 2. Potentially, anyway. I want to get a attachment onto the fresh Dreepy, just in case. I can counter-catch the Impidimp and just make him find an energy. So we'll do that. And then Stamp. Well, I say find him an energy, you can just get the Spike Murph, but I need to get some evolutions down ASAP. So let's recon. There's a Charizard and a boss. That's pretty good. We'll take the Zard for now. We could play the Arven. Grab an Ultra Ball and TM Evo. So theoretically, would it not just be easier to go TM Evo? No, that doesn't work. Because we commit that turn attachment here, we can't attach to this, well, attach to this damaged Dreepy, because I'd want to use this one to TM Evo with. I don't know if that's worth the risk though, because if they somehow get damage on their own board, I think it's realistically my only option. So let's go TM Evo and Evo these 2 Dreepies. We need evolutions down. We can't just sit fanning around. Because we're 10 short off of the Grimmsnarl's Shadow Bullet anyway. We're going to lose this Dreepy regardless. You could also attack, then Devo this Drakloak, but I don't think that would be worth it for him. So he has the energy, and even then he can just Spike Murph grab Grimmsnarl. So we're losing 2 prizes. Well, we're losing a prize here, but that's okay. I can live with that. So we lose this Dreepy, he pings this Drakloak. We can get Luminous with Munkidori now. So he'll be at 240, 270 with a Charizard. Yeah, it's not looking good for us, I'm afraid. It's actually looking pretty rough. Okay. Promote the Drakloak. And let's see what we can do. I am also tempted to evolve that into a Dragapult. Hit the Luminous. I am quite tempted to do that. There's an Iono, but that doesn't help us. The Rare Candy could. I'm also tempted to swing with Chi-Yu and take out, or dig to a counter catcher and take out this. Well, in fact, speak of the devil, I'm actually tempted to evolve Charizard, attach one to Chi-Yu, attach around the board, and go from there. I think that's what we could do because we can take out Munkidori. There's Jamming Tower, so that helps. Doesn't help us, but still, we can actually attack with Pult as well here. But I would want to evolve this one, and obviously because we've put down Jamming Tower, we can't use our rescue board. Not like that matters, because I can always attach Fire Energy and thin it out of the deck. So let's do that. Infernal Rain. We're not getting as much value on the Charizard as I would want, but we can always just swing with Charizard as well. That's another thing. So let's go into the Zard. I'm going to evolve this to a Pult to save it from his grasp. Fire Energy here. Chi-Yu here. Then Arven. Super Rod and a EXP share. Because believe it or not, Chi-Yu's a pretty good attacker. Like, pretty dang good. So let's go you, get you two back. And we will just swing with the Burning Darkness. Now this does mean he can go Munkidori onto the Fez, take out Fez, which could be an issue, but I'm willing to take that risk. He can Adrenaline Brain all he likes. There's not a huge amount he can do. He's setting up for a Devo play for sure. Like, I think that's his intention. But with only one Munkidori, it's looking a bit grim for him. And that's not a play on words. Okay, that's fine. There's a Night Stretcher. Not particularly useful. So, let's think about this. So, let's go for the attachment to the Pult. Because we can take out the Grimmsnarl here. But I want to see if I can find an Iono. There's a fire, but I'll take the Artisan. Artisan opens up their board, but I'm not going to use the Artisan. Recon. Speak of the devil. Okay, let's see. So we don't need to take out this. We actually do need to take out that Munkidori, but I can't do it with Pole, which is the big issue. But to be fair, we take damage off the board, so it doesn't really matter. So let's. Do we want to Ultra Ball here? I don't think so. I don't want to bump this stadium, so let's just go for the Iono. How many stadiums is he down? He's down 1 stadium. That's fine. And yeah, we'll just go for the Burning Darkness and take it out. Even if we found Munkidori and didn't put down the Chiyu, we would have been in a rough spot anyway. There's Hawlucha and Boss. So if he doesn't find himself on a Grimmsnarl, we're in a good spot. If he does find a Grimmsnarl, we're in a bad spot. There's a Dark Energy attachment. Tatsugiri. And the research. You've got to be joking me. You've got to be kidding me. There's no way. What level of luck have you got, man? This is really bad. Because that means a 3-price turn is coming his way. Which means Chiyu is now basically useless. You have got to be kidding me. I Iono'd him into a freaking research. Unless, because he's taking a while to make his decision, is he out of Dark Energy in deck? Because he's taking a while to make his decision. So could he be out of Dark Energy? Because they play like 8. He could have 2 in the prize cards. But he's selecting the ability, so he must have it. Yeah, he's got it. So why did he take that long? I don't know. But yeah, this is a 3-price turn for him, unfortunately. We are not coming back from this. Yeah, this is a bad spot for us. Our best hope is to promote the Pult, Hawlucha. Let's see what we've got. Sorry if you can hear any background noise. I am there's a parcel at the door and I'm not dealing with it. Okay, there's a fire energy, so that's what we needed. Touch return. So unfortunately I can't Munkidori, which is really unfortunate. But we can Hawlucha. So let's Hawlucha. I swear to God, if he's got Boss in his hand, I'm going to be fuming. Okay. Then we just stick the Iono in his face and hope for the best. Now, the question is, do I want to take out the Tatsugiri? Because that lets him find supporters. I actually do think I do. Okay, that's good. So yeah, Phantom Die for knockout. I'm going to knock out the Tatsugiri. Sorry about that, I just got my parcel handed to me. Ugh. I'll sort that in a minute. Okay, if he has the boss, we lose because he just bosses Fez. Or anything else. Because now he can't retreat into his Tatsugiri. Let's hope. Adrenabrain. You would have to put it on the Fez, realistically. It's his best target. So how many boss do we have left? We have 1 counter catcher left and 2 boss. So we could find our... We could find it, but... yeah. Does he play a black belt? No. He doesn't. That's game. That's game. We just Phantom Dive. How the heck did we win this? And yep, that's the concession. I will take that. I will say, I am not missing Bear now. That is something I'm going to say right now. But yeah, those were tough matchups, I will say. But it proves that this deck can handle it. So, what do I think to not having the Brock Scouting and the Bear? I do think you would you'd notice the Bear not being there, but it's not that big of a deal as we saw. We couldn't get that second Charmander down, which well, we could, but it got knocked out, so we couldn't utilize it as much as we thought. But yeah, this was definitely like a tough series of matchups, but the deck definitely handled it, and Hawlucha was an absolute MVP in both those games. So yeah, I think I'm going to be taking Bear out of my list, and I think I'm going to be taking out the Brock Scouting, because obviously I only ran one originally. Well, in that list I was playing, the old list I think I was playing 2, but obviously I adjusted the deck and everything, and it went from there. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed with the deck. I think this will be the new step forward for it, and well, it's nice to play it again. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it, and I'll see you next time.